This is Rod, the appraiser broker. Hey, just wanted to let you know there's different options out there of places you can go. If you want to be looking in the Denver area and you've got a lot of money to spend, here's a property that actually was $500,000 more. I'm quite certain it was just earlier today. I think they just dropped this. But anyway, it's $3 million. This is a big home in the Denver area that you can get if you can afford it. Here's another home that's about well a fraction of that price. This is a 3 bedroom 2 bath home in the Denver area that's 375,000 bucks basically. And if you want to go down to western Colorado, as you can see, you can get a lot more home for the money. This has Denver area that probably has, I don't know if it's 3 million people. I really don't know how many people there are, but I know that the Grand Junction area probably has a tenth that many people. I don't know exactly how many are down there either, but here's a mid-size city or town. And if you really want to get out to a rural area, you can go a place like Debec. And I'm quite familiar with Debec. You'll notice here, this is not a house, but you can actually get 113,000 acres. Excuse me, 113 acres for $200,000. So you're not even, paying $2,000 an acre, but that's out there in the country there. Now, there's other places too out in Debec, and I was just noticing a few of these places because my wife and I stopped by to look at this place yesterday. And then there's another home here in town that's got to be one of the cheapest homes I know of right now. This is a home, however, that requires cash to buy it. And it does have a chain link fence, and it is a house, and it does have a couple of bedrooms and a bath, and I guess they'd be good size because there's almost 1,200 square feet from what the listing says here. But you'll notice that the landscape doesn't look, super live. Granted, this was probably done when it was a little bit colder. You can see there are not leaves on the trees here. It's an older home, and it's got an old wood burning stove, so if you want to be self-sufficient and heat your house with a stove, that's also in town. So you'll notice the electrical things here. There's outlets, there's switches, because this home is right in this little town of 500 people. That's how big Debec is, about 500 people. But you'll notice the flooring in here. This is a house that needs some work. And so much work that you've got to have cash to buy it. You're not likely to get a loan of any significant amount. Maybe if you put 50% down, you might be able to get a loan. But otherwise, you go in there, you can buy it cash. You can go in with, just under $72,000. Definitely buy it cash right now. Fix it up, have yourself a place paid for if you're willing to live in a little town. And if you're retired, you could probably live just fine in Debec on your Social Security because the taxes in Debec are actually very low. And it looks like this home was built in 1909. I know somebody here in Debec that's got a home worth probably over $400,000 that only pays about $400 a year. That's about 0.1%. But it's a little town, 500 people, doesn't have a lot of services. And if you want to go outside of Debec a few miles, look at this wonderful manufactured home. Now, granted, this has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It was built in like 2004, I think, and it's $439,000. But this is a home that's off the beaten path. It's not on paved roads to get there, but it is year-round accessible for most people. And it has, believe it or not, they put this manufactured home on its own foundation, and it's got some outbuildings. It's got sheds. It's got a big stainless steel barn or storage building. And look at that. The kitchen's nice, a newer kitchen. That looks like laminate floors. I'm not hip on laminate floors, but they don't seem to last extremely long. But you see that this is really a nice home. And granted, they're on propane out there, and they are not on city water. And so, some people out in those areas, they'll be on a well. Others have a cistern where they're hauling water in. But boy, what a wonderful home. And this isn't just 15 acres of nothing. This is 15 acres with some of the best water rights in Colorado, water off the Colorado River out of the Bluestone Ditch, and which is high priority, and it's not likely that you're ever going to run out of water, because a lot of the places that are lower priority downstream, if they were even to run low on water, they do a call on the ditch and they can shut those other places down that may need the water too. But this has been established. The Bluestone Ditch has had water established clear back before 1900, and so people that own shares to the Bluestone Ditch have some valuable water shares, and they can irrigate this, and it's not likely that they're ever going to run out of water, use all the water pretty much that they want, because they're near the top of the ditch, and it's a high priority. They own 15 shares and 15 acres of property, is my understanding. There's an old log building shed that is probably quite old, and there's that stainless steel structure I was telling you about. It's probably 20 by 40 or 50. It's a big one. And look at that. You've got grass and alfalfa growing out there, and other places you can plant other stuff, but it's just a few miles outside of Quebec. So you do have another place to go, a little town where they've got a store and a gas station and a few amenities. Not a lot like you'd have down in Grand Junction, and nothing like you would have up in Denver. But the differences are, a house like this up in the Denver area, it's not uncommon to have a house like this that you're paying $1,500 to $2,000 a year in property taxes. When you get a little house down here in Grand Junction, you'd be paying a fraction of that, and you get a little house out in Quebec that might cost you as much as this one, and you might only be paying $300 a year, and I know people that are. So anyway, this is Rod. Have a good day. Appraiser Broker. Hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy the site, and there's other sites you can look on too. Rod, Appraiser Broker. Bye-bye.